Hello there guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the CollectA Sauropod tube. Now, a couple of things out of the way first. One, I know this is yet another thing I said I wasn't going to get but then got anyway, but I had some new ideas. So I've got a use for pretty much all of these except for these two. And an interesting thing on pricing, because this has actually got one extra thing compared to all of the other prehistoric life tubes that CollectA has made, and yet this is the exact same price. I say one extra thing because it also comes with a free cycad. I don't know, get that out of the way first. I don't have much to say about it. It's a nice addition. It actually comes in two pieces. Like that. I don't know, might use it as a prop one day, but for now it's just sitting on the display shelf with the Ear Tyrannus and other things that are too fancy to go in the box. So this has got a couple of repeats from other tubes, but most of these are original. So got the Brontosaurus, Mamenchisaurus, Argentinosaurus, Brachiosaurus, which I know I've already got, Nigersaurus, Augustenia, Ampellosaurus, Rhedosaurus, Jobaria, and Paralatitan. Excuse me. Before I go through these one by one, I've got one little caveat to complain about, and that is in regards to the stamps. So something like the Brachiosaurus, it's got a nice wide torso, and so you can have pretty much everything on the underbelly, except for the year, which, if it will focus, there we go, is on the leg. And they did the same with the Argentinosaurus as well, so it's got the year on one leg and China on the other, but everything else is on that. But then you get to the kind of narrow ones, like the Brontosaurus, and all it has on its underside is the logos. It has the year on its leg, but then the name is halfway down the tail. Now obviously for a donor tube standpoint, this is kind of a pain. Although it's worse with the Augustenia, because you've got the 2023 China on one side of the tail and the name on the other side. Oh my god, I just need a desk lamp. This is not going to work. That's just a minor problem, I guess. Okay. I'm going to go through these one at a time. So start with the Brontosaurus. I think it's pretty good. It's kind of a shame that the spines aren't painted, but at this scale that's kind of understandable. Unlike the Diplodocus, the tail is actually curving naturally as opposed to what is supposed to be a little cowlick kind of curl at the end of the tail, which they just made a zigzag out of. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Pretty much my only problem with it is the Brontosaurus stamped on the side of the tail, but I guess I'll figure out a way to hide that. Ampellosaurus. I don't know that much about this animal other than the fact that it's a titanosauriform from Europe. The difference, of course, is that they have switched which direction the head is facing, and actually they did that with the Brontosaurus as well. This one has the CollectA logo on the side of its tail. And oh yeah, and then Ampalosaurus. I don't know, it's a bit small, I guess. Oh my god. The Paralititan. Obviously, since this, like the figure this is based on is from the early days of CollectA, this is horribly outdated as far as Titanosaur proportions go. Like, this is more like a basal diplodocoid or something with the length of that tail. Yeah, they even managed to sculpt in the nostrils. And, yeah, not much to say about that. Rhedosaurus. This is officially my third Australian dinosaur, which, given my heritage, is possibly quite surprising. We don't have very much of Rhedosaurus, so I don't know how accurate this is supposed to be. It does have the European certification logo right there, and it's glaringly obvious. But all the other labels are pretty good. This one can actually comfortably stand on all fours, although it does kind of look like it's doing a plank, just for the convenience of the fact that not all sauropods should be rearing all the time. As opposed to the Jobaria. Again, I don't know very much about this animal. Because its feet are offset, it can't really stand like this, but that's not too much of an issue. I'll just have to constantly hold it all the time. They have left out its teeth, which of course makes it slightly more accurate in that it clearly has lips, but it appears to be lacking nostrils. Yeah. And then second edition Brachiosaurus, where pretty much the only difference compared to the last time is the colour of the underbelly, where it's just a lighter colour. As you can see, this is the original one and this is the new one. Yeah, so when I do something with two young Brachiosaurus, or Giraffe Titan, wink wink, you'd be able to tell them apart, I suppose. Then the Argentinosaurus. I think compared to the actual figure, this guy's tail is too long. It's a bit less nubbly, like it's really only got osteoderms on its torso rather than pretty much across its entire body length, which I guess is alright. We don't really have evidence of titanosaurs having armor on their necks. It's possible, I suppose. And I do like how they've captured the sagginess of the face. Now we've got the Nigersaurus, which in my opinion is probably the worst one. Like, especially since the CollectA Nigersaurus is not that bad. It's kind of okay. But this one is really bad. I mean, for a start, it's in a quintuple pose, and I'm pretty sure that the actual figure does not have its tail dragging on the ground. And its neck looks kind of uncomfortable. I don't think it's supposed to be like that. It's also a bit fat. Yeah, this guy feels a bit fat compared to the actual figure. Now on to probably the biggest mini I own now, which is the Mamenchisaurus. And this is pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. It's cool. It very well displays the absurd proportions of this animal. Like 16 meters of its 35-meter length was neck. One thing I do kind of notice is if you straighten the neck out, it doesn't look quite right. Like there's this weird dip here. You notice that a lot with rubbery figures that have appendages curved, is that they look a bit strange when they're straightened out. But other than that, it's kind of cool. And last but not least, we've got the Augustinia, which of course, as of 2 years ago, is now horribly outdated because it does not have these spines anymore. Or it might be 3 years. I don't know. So, of course, Augustinia is known from a few vertebrae, some limb bones, and a very smashed rib cage. And those chunks of bone are ribs, not these weird spines that kind of create a back taco. Also, its proportions are probably a bit off because nowadays it's more restored as a Ribachosaurid, so it probably wouldn't have this long of a neck. Also, the neck is horrendously shrink-wrapped, and the tail feels a bit short. But yeah, so pretty much the only figures here I don't have a use for at the moment are the Ampellosaurus and Augustinia. Everything else I do have a use for. Oh yeah, and of course the tree that just lives by itself. Okay, size comparisons. We've got a full-size sauropod, which is actually the only sauropod mini I don't have, which is the Alamosaurus. Constant size comparison of the Papodimetrodon. We've got the CollectA juvenile T-Rex and some other CollectA minis. We've got my other sauropods, which are the Amargasaurus, Apatosaurus, and my other Brachiosaurus, so that's probably not necessary. And for a theropod, we'll just throw in the Giga, which is not to scale with a lot of these. So, gee, I don't even know what I'm gonna rate this. The sauropods are pretty good as far as CollectA goes. There's not a whole lot wrong with them, especially the newer ones. Obviously, I don't like the placement of the stamps on a lot of them, so that kind of detracts. The paint job is pretty good. I'd say the paint job is probably slightly better than the other tubes I got, probably because this one's only from 2023 rather than 2015. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. Yeah, 4.5. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.